everyone, thanks for tuning in to Relationship Entertainment TV. I'm your host, Felicia Dortch, with the news you can use and the ish you don't want to miss. I hope you're having a fabulous Tuesday, and I hope everyone's Mother's Day, if you were a mom, grandmom, sister, aunt, cousin, niece, I hope your day was perfect. I really enjoyed mine. My kids, they took me back to my childhood. My oldest daughter bought me a record player and an actual vinyl copy of one of Michael Jackson's albums. Really was excited to see that. It's really cool how they did the record player. Goodness, lost my words. It allows you to put stickers on it, and it's supposedly stickers from the 80s, so it has all of that nostalgic type of things on there. It's so funny. Let me tell you, my son saw a sticker that was a floppy disk, and I know I'm dating myself when I say that, but you guys out there know what a floppy disk is. We had to use those for school. You go home and save your homework on it, or if you're at the library, you save your homework out of it. Something about like this big, and you stick it in the computer and it saves it to that, and you take it to your teacher and hand it to her. Well, he looked at it and he goes, "What exactly is that?" So I had to explain to him what it was, and he thought that was crazy. The funniest thing is he saw an old pager that my daughter found in one of my cars or something, and he looked at it, he goes, "What is this, a garage door opener?" And I died laughing. So I had to explain to him what a pager was and how you had to wait. They would beep you a number, and you find a phone to call the number back to see who it is. Unless you know the number by heart, you just call it back and say, "Hey, someone paged me from this number." Hilarious. He thought that was nuts. I was like, "Dude, we did not have cell phones." So then I had to dig up a picture of the very first car phone that literally stayed in your car. And he just looked at me and shook his head. But anyway, moving on. Moral of the story, I had a great Mother's Day. The other two, the twins, bought me some Funko Pops. I'm not sure how to really explain it, but they're like these little dolls or bobblehead type of things. But they know that I really love Wonder Woman, so they bought me two Wonder Woman ones. And then also, they found the whole collection of Run DMC and Jam Master Jay, one of my favorite groups of all time. Again, dating myself. But anyway, I loved it. Had a great time. So today's story that I want to bring to you, it warms my heart. And I know I say that about every story, but I get so excited to see youth excel in what they're doing. And this story has been trending on everything. I actually saw it again on LinkedIn and thought this would be fabulous to talk to you guys about, especially with the school closing in on, we're nearing the end of school. So many people are trying to figure out what to do for college if they hadn't done it already, or they're getting ready for college. I still have a couple of years with the dynamic duo, my twins. They're going to 10th grade next year. So we complete 9th grade this Thursday. Actually is our last day of homeschool at the Dortch school. This whole week they're doing final exams. Really excited of the progress that they have made. But moving on to this story, I want to talk to you about an 18-year-old. His name is Samuel Lyons. He gets accepted into 40 colleges and was awarded over $1.6 million in scholarships. My God, that is amazing. Okay. Just going to read a little bit from the article that I found, because this is just, I love it. I even shared this with my kids because I'm always sharing things that I find with them to encourage them, to uplift them, and to show them that you can do this. He worked hard, and this is what he got from it. According to this article, KVUE, Samuel Lyons is the Franklin High School senior who has not only been admitted to 40 colleges, but has, again, like I said, been offered $1.6 million of scholarship money to go. While the admission letters keep rolling in, it is still only the beginning of May. So a guidance counselor at the school reveals that the list could continue to grow. Oh my God, that is amazing. So this is a quote. "We started in August 2020 doing his college applications, and he diligently been working at home applying to colleges while being virtual." This is shared by the guidance counselor, L. Massenberg. Quote again, I do not believe this is all of the scholarship money or acceptance letters. We have completed several other scholarships from different organizations that we're waiting on. I believe that he will get those also. So right now, this is only the ones that he has actually received, totaling $1.6 million. And from his guidance counselor, her name again is Elle Massenberg. She is saying that he may be receiving more, that's not all the ones that they've applied for, that they've heard from thus far. So he could exceed well over 1.6 million. Thus far, Lyons has been admitted to the University of Richmond, George Mason University, Virginia Commonwealth University, and Ferrum College, all located in the state of Virginia. Currently, his sights have been set upon Virginia Commonwealth University, located in the state's capital of Richmond, where Lyons has received the VCU Engineering Progressive Award in an amount of $30,000. Okay. So here's another quote shared by Lyons. It was very time consuming, shared Lyons. I had to manage my time while applying to so many schools and doing virtual learning. I didn't really know what to expect since it was my first time applying to college. I didn't expect to get offered so much in scholarship. So I want to pause right there and just say that these are the things that I try to drive home with my twins. You know, you have to determine what you want to do and how you want to attack it. And when I say that is sometimes they get frustrated, even in homeschool, when I give them work to do and a deadline. You know, for an example, they have scriptures to memorize. They get one every beginning of the chapter in Bible, that the book that we're using, and they have 2 weeks to memorize it. Some of the scriptures, as you know, even for adults, some of them are short, some of them are very long. But my theory is, and they laugh when I say this, and this is the same thing my mother used to say to me, if you can rap an entire song to me, then why you can't memorize your schoolwork or memorize the things that you need to memorize? You know, so when they come to me and say, oh, I need more time, I actually listen to the reason they need more time. And then I also evaluate the week. You know, did they finish schoolwork and just go home and do nothing? Or not go home, well, go to their room and do nothing. Or did they finish out the day studying? Or did they decide not to, you know, they kept putting it off. And now it's the last minute and they're petitioning me for more time. You know, so these are some of the examples that they need to see, that you have to be dedicated in what you're trying to do. Per Massenberg, this is the guidance counselor, she's never seen a student receive so many acceptances or scholarship offers during her tenure at FHS. Quote, Sam Lyons has been accepted into 40 colleges with a total amount, again, like I said, 1.6 million. He's the first student I've seen at FHS that has been accepted to so many colleges and accepted so many scholarships. And he did this all by himself, okay? For Lyons, he is thankful to everyone who's been stepping toward his success, and these are some of the people that he wanted to thank. I want to thank Ms. Massenberg and all of the teachers that taught me. Each one contributed to my success, he expressed. The 18-year-old will graduate in June and has plans to pursue a career in computer engineering before ultimately returning to Franklin to serve as a mentor for kids. And that is the part that I really love the most, because you know, I always like to connect stories. When I was in high school, I was a pretty good student. You know, I wasn't a straight A student, but A and B, you know. I wasn't enough percentage of my class to have the ability to know about scholarships. But one of the things that I was very upset about at my school is I wasn't aware that there was a scholarship book in the counselor's office, you know, and that should have been made aware to everyone. And I know people will say, well, that should have been something you sought out on your own. But you have to think about during that time, and I'm not very old, you know, I graduated in 96, but there were certain things, and I was very involved. I actually worked in the office sometime, you know, and I was very involved with the school. I talked to a lot of the teachers, principals, you know, the counselors, but I was still not aware of the scholarship book until one of my friends, I asked her, why was she not in lunch? And she said, well, she had to go talk to the counselor because there was a new scholarship been added to the book. And she walked off, and I saw her later that day, and I'm like, what book are you talking about? And that's when I found out. Mind you, it is April. We graduate in May. So I was very upset about not knowing about the things that we had, or even knowing that I should have went to the counselor and asked. And the teachers often talked about scholarships and asked us, how we were doing with our college applications, but not one time did anyone say anything about this scholarship book. So I made it my life's purpose, to educate teenagers or seniors. The first thing I tell them is about FastWeb. Have you got on FastWeb? Did you create a profile? And then FastWeb will start sending you applications for scholarships. Then when my older daughter was in school, the first thing I asked her, you go find out if there's a scholarship book in the office with the guidance counselor. And she did. And we found the book and we applied. And she did get some of those scholarships. With the twins, we're most likely going to stay homeschooled. So we'll be building their profile on FastWeb, as well as them doing dual credit. So most likely they will graduate with an associate's degree from high school. So I'm working very hard to not make that same mistake with my children. So I encourage you parents, just as this young guy did, he was very involved. He sought out the opportunities. If your children are juniors or seniors, even sophomores, and they haven't talked to you about a scholarship book or talking with the counselors about potential scholarships, you need to get on the phone, or if you're still virtual, send an email and try to find out everything that is available to your child at that school. So they too can have this wonderful opportunity. The article didn't speak very much about his grades, but one can make the assumption that if he just cleared $1.6 million in scholarships, I imagine his grades are impeccable. So just find out. Start doing it early, like next year, or actually this summer, if COVID parameters are loosened a little bit and we're allowed to do it. I plan to start taking the twins around to do our first college road trip, so we can see some of the places that they may be interested in, so I can start developing a strategy for them to get in those schools, with the grades and scholarships or what have you. Absolutely, next year after 10th grade, we will do another road trip. So normally what I do with my kids is once we get to junior year, we're narrowing it down now. We've seen enough colleges. We know kind of what you want to do. And I at least like to find out if 2 or 3 of those majors are at one school. Because what I don't want to happen is for me to enroll them in one place and decide my major's not here. Now I got to move somewhere else. And that's what I did. I started off at Texas Southern as the engineer, decided I wanted to be a nurse. Nursing wasn't offered there, so I had to transfer. Also, look into opportunities where your kids can get the real life experience. For an example, my daughter was interested in criminal justice, so I paid for her to go to Stanford for a week for a summer program. And they basically just dove in. She learned everything that she could possibly learn in 5 days, enough to come back and say, that's not what I want to do. So that saved me in the long run from enrolling her in college, wasting a couple of years, and then to find out she wants to do something else. Not saying it still can't happen, but I involved her in enough things for her to see how it works, and this what you want to do long term. We did the same thing with culinary arts. She wanted to cook, so I put her in a program. She's like, yeah, nope, don't want to do that. So we started to narrow it down as she was in high school. By the time she did get to college, she did start and finish at that same college because she was already aware of what she wanted to do, and we knew that major was there. So that saved me some time, effort, and money, and some crying, okay? I'm going to start doing it with the twins right now. My girl wants to be in veterinary medicine, so we're starting a veterinary medicine program next year through homeschool, through Texas A&M, and we're going to see if this is really what she wants to do. The same with my son. He's thinking about coding and computer science, so we're doing the same thing, or welding, doing the same thing with him. Hopefully, if I go ahead and introduce them to these things now, it'll help me later. So again, I am so excited to tell you that story. I'm so proud of this young man. 40 colleges and $1.6 million. That is simply amazing, okay? Hope you check out the story. It is literally everywhere, but you need to see it here. On Relationship Entertainment TV, I'm Felicia Dortch with the news you can use and the ish you don't want to miss. I'll see you Thursday.